Yo guys, it is your boy Tigu, and you guys just saw right there what the topic of today's video is. I'm super hyped for this. Been looking forward to doing my first cooking video on this channel. Looking forward to sharing these recipes, some of my Tigu classique recipes with you, because I kind of feel like I'm a beast in the kitchen, but I want you guys to try it out and see what you think. But today is gonna be my classic chicken and grits, super quick, super nutritious, and very delicious, and I've literally been making it almost every single day because of those reasons. So without further ado, let's roll up the sleeves and get to the ingredients list. Alright guys and girls, for ingredients we're going to be using 2 packs of instant cheese flavored grits as well as old-fashioned grits, shredded cheddar cheese, a cup of milk, a lime sliced, ginger, salt, I have pink salt here, Cholula Hot Sauce, white vinegar, soy sauce, Thai fish sauce, chicken thigh because it's more flavorful, and a whole green onion chopped up. So now that we have everything, let's get into the kitchen. Alright, now that that's over with, we can get to the cooking part. The first thing we're going to be doing is separating these thighs for the guys, or these thighs for the cutie pies. That's because each half of the thigh, the grains, those fibers, they kind of run in slightly different directions, and we're going to be using those grains, look at those striations, if you will, just like the ones on my pec. You're going to be using those to kind of guide us to cut this chicken. Like this, boom, we're cutting right along those lines, those fibers, first to make long kind of strips of chicken. After this, we're going to turn the chicken on its side, 90-degree turn, so that way we cut perpendicularly to what we just did. This is going to cut those fibers into shorter pieces, because think about it. Is the chicken going to be more tender if you're chewing this long, stringy fiber, or a bunch of short, nice little fibers? Of course, it's the short ones. And after you cut all 9.8 ounces of chicken, this is what it looks like. For the next step, we're going to measure out a cup of water. That's 240 milliliters of water. We're going to put it into a pot that we're going to be using to make those old-fashioned grits. We need 1 serving of these old-fashioned grits, which is 41 grams to the T when you're using this Quaker brand of grits. Pour those grits into the pot once the water comes to a boil and reduce that heat to low. You got to keep stirring every once in a while to make sure that there's no clumping though. We don't like those clumps. And now we're going to prepare the instant grits. So we're going to tear those 2 bags open and new one and pour it into a bowl, and then we're going to cover those grits with this nice sweet high protein 13 grams per serving protein lactose free Fairlife milk. And then we're going to stir it a little bit to make sure that there's no clumping before we put this bowl into the microwave. Now while all that is going on, let's prepare our frying pan or wok, whatever you want to call it, with that hot oil by putting the stove on the highest of heats. And when the old-fashioned grits are done, let's move them into our serving bowl, whatever we want to eat out of, and top that with our shredded cheddar cheese, just to add a little bit of flavor into those old-fashioned grits, which you can imagine have absolutely no flavor. I used fat-free cheddar cheese here just to improve the nutrient profile, but you can use whatever kind of cheese that you want. Once the instant grits are done, let's move those into that same serving bowl and mix all those grits together to make a nice homogeneous mixture of cheesy grits. Onto the chicken, we're going to put the chicken into our wok, into our frying pan with the hot oil. Be careful because the oil is extremely hot. There's going to be a little bit of splashback. Sprinkle on the salt, pour a little bit of soy sauce, and I said a little bit, we're just adding it for the color and a little bit of extra saltiness and savoriness, and then about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons maybe of ginger in there. Once we got those 3 ingredients in there, stir it up. You don't have to use this sick wrist action like I am. You can just use a spatula, you know, and once it cooks a little bit more, we're going to add the Cholula. Make sure all the chicken gets at least a little bit of Cholula hot sauce all over it. Then we're going to work with the Thai fish sauce, and be careful with this stuff. Do not put a lot at all, guys. This is some potent stuff. If you take a whiff, you will know immediately, just like you would with this white vinegar. Just add a little bit of this as well for the acidity, that extra tang. That fish sauce brings a lot of extra savoriness. So now we're going to balance that out with some tanginess. And then we're going to flip it up again. I'm using that wrist action, but if you're not as masterful as I, then you can just use a spatula. And once it starts cooking a little bit, we're going to add the green onion, but not the whole thing. We're going to add the bottom part of the green onion, the more whitish, light green part of that green onion. And that's going to be part of our stir fry as well. Mix that thing up once more. And then finally, we're going to put the finishing touch by squeezing that lime in there once the chicken is almost cooked fully through, and give it one final toss up, and the chicken should be done. You kind of want a nice little sear on that chicken to make it extra tender. And pour that onto our grits. And for the finishing touch, we're putting the rest of that green onion, the dark part, the soft part, as our garnish. And if you want to, add a little bit of extra lime, squeeze some fresh lime on top for that flavor, and oh my god. Alright, it's your boy Tigu right here. I'm here with Eli Vaughn. He's got his own YouTube channel. We'll put the link in the description. Anyways, we just finished. You saw the process for making the chicken and grits. This is going to be a pretty interesting one. I've been eating this like every day, honestly, and I wanted to share with you guys how to make this. Eli's never had grits before, so this is going to be interesting. So we're going to let Eli take the first bite.
Here we go. First bite.
First grits ever.
Man, dude, that is so good. I've never had grits, but like I don't even know how to explain it. It's not what I expected. It's actually like a lot better than what I thought.
What do you think it was going to be like?
I thought it was gonna be like a breakfast food, like low quality, but like that's actually like really good.
What did you think? Like, how's the chicken though? That's the main star here, the chicken.
Dude, it's like, oh, it's so like nice, and I don't know if tender is the right word to use.
Like tender means like, you know, very easily chewable, like kind of melts a little bit in your mouth.
It's like the perfect amount of chewiness. So wait. What's the sauce on here again? Because it's got like a nice little spice to it.
Exactly. So the sauce is kind of like spicy, but it's tangy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The tanginess comes from the lime, and then the spiciness, and the tanginess comes from like the lime and the vinegar that's also in the Cholula sauce, and that also brings the spice, you know.
Yeah, dude. The lime complements the spice so well.
And then the fish sauce, you know, we just put a little bit of fish sauce in there, but that adds a lot of the savory flavor that's in here. And so that's why I chose to pair it with grits. Because the chicken can be very strong. The chicken flavor is pretty strong. If you just ate it by itself, right, it'd be pretty powerful. But the grits naturally have almost no flavor, so it kind of balances it out really well.
I could honestly eat the chicken by itself, no problem.
Really?
I enjoy it that much.
Because you're not Asian, guys. We Asian people need to balance it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why we always eat white rice with everything.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's so good.
So if you guys are wondering, who is Eli Vaughn anyways? What's our relationship? He's my tennis. He's actually my tennis student. So
yeah,
you know, if you hire for me, you're coaching. No, just kidding. And believe it or not, this is actually one serving. Well, I eat all this in one serving, but this together has about 75 grams of protein.
Yeah, it's insane.
And only about 15 or 16 grams of fat, which is not very much at all. So you're not going to get, you know, fat.
How spicy would you say this is on a scale of like 1 to 10?
All right. If you're a little then this is probably like 7. But honestly, I think for me, this is like 2 or 3.
I personally, like, I really like spicy food. Mm-hmm. So like, I love this. Yeah, I love
really?
Spicy food. I'm the kind of guy that puts hot sauce on everything. So like, I love this. This is awesome.
What's the level then? 1 to 10? Honestly, I say 2 or 3. Like, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like 4, maybe 4. I feel like 4 is respectable.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 sounds too mild. Maybe like 3 to 4. Because it's like it's got a kick. Definitely got a kick, you know. But it's not like that. Snot flying out of my nose.
Yeah.
Can't even continue eating.
This whole process actually took way longer than it was supposed to.
First food video, like cooking video. Man, how long do you think it took?
Well, so I think in all, because we had to go drive to get the ingredients because we didn't have any. This whole process took us maybe like 4 hours in total, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably. Are you counting the time that we drove or what?
Yeah, because we had to go pick up these ingredients. We had to drive like an hour and a half there and then an hour and a half back.
Only because traffic sucked.
Yeah, it was insane.
All we bought was two jars of ginger.
I know, we drove all the way from where we're at to downtown just for like 2 little things.
Let's go to the only ginger at HEB, the grocery store around here. It's that squeeze bottle, but they put like fructose and what is it? Fructose and some other flavors in there, and I don't want those flavors in there. I just want at the Asian store, which is where we went, they just have straight up chopped, minced up ginger. That's it.
Yo, the grits, since I've never had it before, it reminds me a lot like eggs.
Hmm?
Like yeah.
Like
very similar to eggs. The taste.
The taste, really.
Yeah.
We use the cheese in there, you know. Oh, yeah. By the way, I said there's a lot of protein in this, but that's because we add all like the extra high protein stuff. Like we use the milk. The milk that we use is high protein, 0 fat. Fairlife milk, if you must know. Some people hate that, but you know. And then we use the fat-free cheddar cheese, which is like, it's not the best flavor, obviously, but we were not trying to overpower the flavor of the chicken anyways with, I'm a
machine.
My bad.
If you're trying to get gains, you gotta try this out, man. This is the route to go.
And even though the process took us forever, this literally takes me only about 15 minutes to make on the normal.
Yeah. The only reason it took so long is because we're trying to record all this, and the setup process took forever, man.
So what's your overall impression of the food or my cooking?
Man, if I can learn how to do this every day, this is probably my go-to. Like, I'm probably gonna do this. I'm gonna refer back to this video, and I'm gonna go ham on this. I'm gonna make this until like I get tired of it, because the stats, or I don't know, the macros are so good, man.
The macros are really good. For those of you who do not know, we do dieting by tracking macros here. You know, fats, proteins, carbs. They're very scientifically proved to help you make results. If you're working out, that is. Which reminds me, Eli Vaughn here just started in the gym.
Yeah.
Tell him.
That's true. I've been hitting the racks with Tigu, the man, the myth, the legend. And we're in a journey to make me the most muscular, sexy being there is.
Eli's still a high schooler.
Yeah.
Except, you know, can't really show off to all the high school girls because you don't go to high school.
That's true, man.
Now that he's skipping, he's just homeschooled.
I dropped out.
To do this. What a sad life. I'm just kidding.
Full time. I'm Tigu's assistant.
Yo, check out this sick Pikachu shirt, by the way. You guys see this? Don't know if you noticed that.
My man eats so slow.
I was talking a little bit. And
yeah.
I said you had the first bite. You had the whole first half bowl.
Last bite.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Finish her off. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's much better to give you guys kind of like an opinion of somebody who's never tried this before. Because, you know, obviously I'm going to say, oh, it's really good. But I must say I think I'm a pretty good cook. Just based on feel. But it's good to have someone else's opinion. So thank you, Eli Vaughn.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace!